All right, students and YouTubers and everybody else. I wanted to go over this quickly because my class had some trouble today. Well, it's about time I make one of these. These are our knives. Pretty dull, but pointy. I do want to take a moment just to talk about them. If you hold them in your hand and you say something threatening to someone, they will be treated as a weapon. If you take them out of the classroom, they will also be treated as a weapon. So please think before you act. All right, so I'm going to take this clay here. We are going to cut just a piece off here. Some important things you guys need to know. Okay? Oh, do you see that right there? This is great. See this hole right here? I just cut it here. See that? What this basically is an air pocket. So if somebody didn't need that enough, they just put the clay together and made an air pocket. So if there's an air pocket and it doesn't get filled in, it can explode in the kiln. So remember that, okay? So also, clay, if it's thinner than your pinky, so I'll make a coil here. If it's thinner than your pinky, which this one is just about, then it's gonna be fine. If it's thinner than your pinky, it will most likely be fragile and break because it dries about 20% when it's done. If it's thicker than your thumb, okay, then it will explode. In the kiln, it has a chance to explode because it's too thick to let the moisture in the inside of the clay release. So that would explode unless you had a good old hole dug out of it and it looked like a ball, but it wasn't a ball. So, yes, okay. All right, so a quick thing here. So let's say we want to put two things together. Okay, so we have our two pieces here, and this is attaching. So basically, if you put two pieces and you push them together like this, and like that, and you leave it like that, eventually they're going to dry and fall apart. Okay, so what you need to do is you take a tool. We're going to use a knife here, and we are going to do lots of scratching. Okay, that's what they call it scratching. There's lots of different tools you can use. Some tools do this for you really easily, and some tools like this are just they do it, but not as easily or as efficiently. And you want to do the other side as well, because if you don't, think of it like Velcro. You know that wonderful stuff? Okay, then you're going to take your finger. Notice very little is on the finger here. I'm just put a little bit there, a little bit here. See, the whole clay isn't all shiny. I might go back a little bit here and make sure I got enough in there. And then I take the two pieces, I push them together. See, you can see the little water coming out. That's great. Okay. Now this would be fine, but to make sure it stays in there, especially I think it looks nicer for most projects, you would score the sides or scratch and then fill it in. Use your finger, what have you. This is called slip and score or scratch and score. Really depends on your school. Anywho, so that looks much better on the outside than this does, okay? All right, so what we're doing today, at the end of your clay session, and you don't want your clay to dry or dry too fast, you put wet paper towel in it. Now, this is kind of damp because it's been waiting a day or two. So I have this water. I'm just going to go over my paper towel here. It's a little too shiny there, but put this on here and that'll work. Yeah. Okay. I wanted these to keep their shape, my bat wings or dragon wings. So I put some paper towel underneath it to keep that arc. Here's my bat, or the other wing here. I'll lay it on top of the first one. Paper towel in the middle to keep them from sticking. And hopefully I will work on this tomorrow but this will still dry out, totally still dry out. And so what I need to do, get all sides, make sure to get all sides. What I need to do is cover it in plastic. So I'm going to take one here. Oh, this bag's a little wet, but that's okay. I'm going to wrap it underneath it, completely underneath it. I'm trying to do this one-handed here. Folding that underneath it, like that. And on the other side, same way. Okay, and then I got this area here, an area here. Now, that might be alright if I'm trying to let it slowly dry, but I don't. I want to keep it nice and wet because I still want to work on it, or leather hard. So I put another bag on it, and I'm going to wrap this side, and then I'm going to wrap this side. Okay, so that is how you keep your clay from drying out in a day or 3 days. If it was going to be a long weekend, I'd probably want to make sure each piece of paper towel was nice and saturated. But since it's only a day, that should last me at least 2 days. If I'm going to last longer, I'm going to have to use more water. But not too much, because then it'll start falling apart.